Today, we're diving into a famous Indonesian legend. It's a story packed with gods, magic, and forbidden love, and it all ends with a moment of rage so powerful it literally created a mountain. A mountain that you can still go and visit today. So, to get us started, let me just ask you a kind of weird question. What if you grew up with your mom and your super loyal dog, only to find out that your family had a secret that changed absolutely everything? Well, that's exactly where this wild legend begins. At the heart of our story, we've got a pretty unusual family. There's a prince from the heavens, a human woman, and their son. But as you're about to see, there is a strange bargain that makes their family dynamic anything but normal. It all kicks off with a heavenly bargain. A prince from a celestial kingdom falls in love with a human woman, Dayang Sumbi. Her father's cool with the marriage, but there's one really bizarre condition. The second their son is born, the prince has to become a dog. He agrees, their son Sangkuriang is born, and poof, dad is now the family dog, Tumang. And this right here is the absolute key to the whole story. Sangkuriang grows up with his mom and this super faithful dog, Tumang, having no idea, absolutely no clue, that the dog is actually his own father. That secret is basically a ticking time bomb at the center of their family. Okay, and this is where the story takes a sharp turn and gets really, really dark. Dayang Sumbi and Tumang figure out a way for the prince to become human again, but the cost is just horrific. They need the heart of a human, and they decide that their own son, Sangkuriang, is going to be the sacrifice. As you can imagine, that decision sets off a catastrophic chain reaction of tragedy and betrayal. What happens next is going to scar Sangkuriang, and I mean literally, and send him into an exile that will change his entire life.
So, the twisted plan is set in motion. Dayang Sumbi sends her son, who's a brave young man by now, into the forest to hunt for a deer's heart. But Sangkuriang doesn't know it's a trap. It's all just a setup to get him into the woods where Tumang is waiting to attack him.
So, they're out in the forest. Sangkuriang spots a deer and tells Tumang to go after it. But the dog just ignores him. Instead, sticking to that grim plan he made with his wife, Tumang turns on his own son. But here's the thing. Sangkuriang is a great hunter. He knows how to defend himself. He fights back. And in the chaos, he ends up killing Tumang. He has no idea that in that moment of self-defense, he has just killed his own father. When Sangkuriang gets back home, he gives his mother the heart and tells her it belongs to Tumang, who attacked him. Realizing their plan is ruined and her husband is now dead, Dayang Sumbi is just consumed with rage. She strikes Sangkuriang on the head, leaving a deep, permanent scar. And that's it. With that one act of violence, she banishes him. Wounded, betrayed, he's thrown out of his home, forced to wander the world all alone with no idea about the messed up family plot that led to this moment. Okay, so let's fast forward a bit. Years and years pass. Sangkuriang is out there in exile. But fate is getting ready for a family reunion that's going to be even more tragic and bizarre than their separation. So during his time away, Sangkuriang grows into this incredibly powerful warrior who can command supernatural beings. Meanwhile, his mother, Dayang Sumbi, is granted eternal youth by the gods. So when they finally cross paths again, they are completely unrecognizable to each other. And, of course, their paths do cross. Sangkuriang, now this mighty man, sees a woman of just breathtaking beauty. He has no clue it's his mother, and he falls instantly in love and asks her to marry him. Dayang Sumbi is totally charmed by this powerful stranger, and she actually agrees, until one day, maybe she's tending to a wound or just brushing his hair, and she sees it, the scar on his head. And in that one horrifying moment, it all clicks. She realizes she's about to marry her own son. She desperately tries to tell him the truth, but he just won't believe her. So to stop the unthinkable from happening, she comes up with a plan. She agrees to marry him, but only if he can pull off two impossible tasks: dam a river to make a lake and build a giant boat to sail on it. Oh, and he has to do it all in a single night. She thinks there's no way. This challenge leads us to the grand finale of the legend. Sangkuriang accepts, and his attempts to do the impossible is about to carve the very landscape we can still see today. Sangkuriang unleashes everything he's got. He summons this whole army of jinn and other mystical beings to help him. And it's just this flurry of supernatural work. They dam the Sitaram River, creating a huge lake. They chop down a massive tree and start carving a boat. As the night goes on, it actually looks like, against all odds, he's gonna succeed. Seeing this, Dayang Sumbi starts to panic and comes up with a desperate trick. She uses her own magic to make every rooster in the area start crowing, tricking the jinn into thinking that dawn has already broken. The spirits, terrified of sunlight, flee, leaving the job unfinished. Sangkuriang is just overcome with pure rage. He knows he's been deceived, and his heart is broken. He unleashes all that frustration on the dam, causing a massive flood. And then, with every ounce of his superhuman strength, he kicks the nearly finished boat, sending it flying. That massive boat lands upside down, and over time, it becomes the mountain you can see right here. To this day, it's called Tangkuban Perahu, which in the local Sudanese language literally means upside-down boat. It's a real volcano in West Java, Indonesia, that you can actually go and visit. And that's the Legend of Sangkuriang. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? We look at mountains and lakes and think of them as these peaceful, ancient things. But how many old stories imagine they were born not from slow geology, but from a single, powerful, shattering moment of human heartbreak and rage?